Good morning, traders. This is Christian Fromhertz, Tribeca Trade Group, with your Monday morning rundown. And futures up across the board. Overnight markets all performed pretty well last night. We opened up yesterday. Futures were actually just around flat, down a little bit once for the 6 o'clock open last night. But once markets opened around the globe, nice little rally going on. Nikkei finished up close to 1%. Let's keep going here. It's Japan up. Hang Seng up close to 1% as well, up about 90 basis points. Nice move in Shanghai overnight, up well over 2% last night and closed very close to the highs. Other markets, nothing too alarming in some of the other emerging markets. India was up. Then taking a look at what Europe is doing, Europe is up across the board. Regardless, there was a couple data points out last night. HSBC had some bad earnings. They're down a couple percent this morning. Nevertheless, everything in Europe kind of bucking the trend, bucking that headline, as well as a possible headlines over and what's going on with England as well. But no matter, right now everything is up across the board. Let's go over and take a look at S&P futures. There was some news out in Google as well, but they're actually up regarding some antitrust issues. So taking a look at S&P, and I have this trend line up here, and I'll get to that. But futures are up nicely. We're up about 1%. Let's just take a look at the daily chart. Where are we right now? Very close to where we got to towards, I think this was Thursday. Let me just zoom in a little bit more. Right around the top of value. So 1934, that's the level that I mentioned last week that I was watching. Next after that, I'll get to the next level higher in S&P. But you could see this trend line that I've had in place from the last time that we moved up. And we're butting up against it. This is where we got to pre-market. So this trend line is pretty valid that I've drawn here. Look at where we got to this morning. We got as high as this trend line that I've drawn on my charts and rejected it for now. But nevertheless, still up very nicely across the board, up 1%. A couple interesting movers. Then I'll get to the next S&P and level. In regard to analyst ratings, CRE was raised to overweight. I can't speak this morning. CRE was raised to overweight at Piper Jaffray. CSX was raised to buy versus neutral Bank of America. It looks like Bank of America actually upgraded a few of the transports. They also upgraded, let's see, Union Pacific as well as Swift Transportation. So UNP, SWFT, CSX all raised at Bank of America. IMAX raised to outperform versus neutral at Wedbush. Newell Rubbermaid also raised to outperform at Raymond James. Expedia, those were all the upgrades. Downgrades, Expedia cut to hold at Stifel. Same thing with TripAdvisor. They also cut them to hold. I also see Express Scripts cut to sell versus hold at Deutsche Bank. A couple other movers. EGN reported earnings this morning. They're getting a nice lift. Looks like they closed at 275. They're now trading around 281. So nice move up there. Dean Foods also reported this morning. They're up nicely as well. They've come in from the highs, but they closed at 20.47. They're around $21 this morning. So those are a couple movers. Let me just bring up the rest of the movers. Let's go to S&P futures first. Back to the next level to watch. So next level to watch in S&P, I would watch maybe 1954. That's a level that people have been talking about. So it's always, if you get over one level, then you can go on to the next level. So that's what I would see here in S&P. I'm just taking a look at some of the other NQ. Oops, having trouble zooming out here. Hey, let's go to the, looking very similar. Not on the top of value yet, so may have some more room to run. But notice that getting very close to the Thursday high in Nasdaq. IWM or small caps. This is Russell 2000. Looking a little bit more positive than both S&P Nasdaq. Not in terms of percentage gain, but taking a look, it looks like they're breaking out of this Thursday high where S&P and Nasdaq has not done that yet, and also has room to run here to the top of value. Let's take one more look at S&P futures. If we zoom out here, so here's the level. So just to give you another level in versus SPX versus S&P futures. So I would say if we can get over the top of value, I would say the next level that we could be looking at is possibly right around 1982. Then to 2000. So those are some of the levels that I would be looking at. But again, we'd want to make sure that we can get above this top of value here, which is around 1935 in S&P futures. Okay, so let me go through the other movers besides the upgrades this morning. What's up? All right, so a lot more movers to the plus side to the negative this morning, obviously with S&P futures up percent. Looks like RDUS, interesting, is up 13%. Don't have the data on them yet, but I'll take a look at that. Groupon up again. Groupon continues to rise after their earnings. FCX up 5.3%. MRO up 4.6%. Yahoo still talking about possible reorganization there. CSX mentioned them. SYF, Barron's had a positive article about them this weekend. They're up about 4% pre-market. A couple other smaller cap names up. Biotech names. A bunch of small cap biotech names that are up this morning. So we'll take a look at that chart as well. And gold is down. You know what? I did not look at the commodities. Oil is getting a nice bid this morning. Let's go to the front month contract in oil. I think everybody's excited that oil is up close to $2. Just took another leg higher, by the way. But again, you know, we're only at $31. So just keep in mind, you know, we have rallied nicely from the lows, but something to keep an eye on. Let's take a look at some of the other commodities. Nat gas getting a little bit of a bid. This was under pressure last week. Gold, which continues to see inflows, taking a little bit of a breather this morning. No surprise with what futures are doing, down about 1.7% this morning. So big move in gold this morning. And then finally, let's look at bonds. Bonds not really moving too much down, a little bit. You would think they would be down a little bit more. In terms of economics, not much for today. It looks like the Fed, Chicago Fed activity was already is out. Not much of a move there. We've got a lot of housing data this week. Home Depot also reports tomorrow morning, so those are a couple things to watch for tomorrow. So so that's it for S&P futures. You know, take a look. I would keep an eye on what I'm most the level that I'm watching this morning is right around that 1935. I'm also looking more immediate right at this trend line that I've drawn right around this 1940 level. So a couple levels to watch there. So thank you very much for watching today's video, and good luck trading today.